Once again, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We very much appreciate it. I wanted to welcome all of you in the room and thank you for coming out. I also wanted to welcome all of our fans that are watching en route, listening on Seattle Sports 710, or sharing it via one of our platforms. We appreciate all of you joining us as well. I believe you know everyone at the head table: John Stanton, the Chairman and Managing Partner; Jerry DiPoto, the President of Business Operations. On the far end is Ulysses Cabrera, Julio's representative, and the guest of honor, Julio Rodriguez. So it's a very special day for us here at the franchise. And with that, Jerry?
First, it was by design that we went the fashionably late route to start the press conference. But thanks, everybody, for coming, especially the guys in uniform. You know, really cool that you guys showed up and support your teammate. This is a fantastic moment in the history of our organization. Over these last 2 years, coming out of our roster reboot, watching this city get excited about Mariners baseball, watching this team take it to a different level in terms of energy and on-field performance and come together in ways that we couldn't have imagined, truly. And to watch a young player like Julio show up on opening day and make his way through the first month of the season when things weren't so easy, and since the 1st of May, truly just be a driving force, not just for our team, but in baseball at large. He's very quickly become a very recognizable face. And this contract that we were able to arrive on with Ulysses Cabrera of Octagon, can't say enough about what Ulysses did in getting this done and working with Julio and collaborating with us on a contract that is really unique. And it was required. You know, we needed to do something unique and hopefully ensure that Julio spends the rest of his career here in Seattle. So with that, any questions that you might have, I'll kick it to Julio and Ulysses if they'd like to add anything, but glad to answer any questions that anybody might have.
John?
The mission of the Mariners is threefold. 1, win championships. 2, delight our fans. And 3, serve the communities. We have a long-term commitment to winning, and we have a short-term commitment to winning. The signing of Julio Rodriguez to this contract is evidence of that commitment. I just want to thank Jerry DiPoto, Justin Hollander, and their team for a tremendous job. And I think Ulysses has a couple of comments. Ulysses?
Yeah, I think a lot of people will focus on the contract and the nuances and the details and the average annual value and the length, and really that's missing the point on this one. I think this is all about the city of Seattle. I think it's all about the organization recognizing how much the Seattle fans love their athletes. I mean, I grew up in California and I live in Florida, and I spent a lot of time going to different stadiums, but the energy that the fans here bring is not able to be compared anywhere else. I mean, I saw Ichiro go last night. That was amazing. And you run through the names: Randy, Griffey, you look at Gary Payton, look at Casey Keller. People here love their teams, their athletes, and I think what you guys have done here is give the fans and that next generation somebody to say, hey, let's go to the baseball game. Let's watch Julio and the team. You saw what happened last night when you guys won, and that celebration with everybody dancing in the middle of the field. That's special. And it starts with the energy and the love of team, and I think Julio represents that, so I'm excited for everybody here.
And Julio, any opening comment?
I mean, what can I say? I'm just happy to be a Mariner. I'm just happy to be a Mariner for as long as I can. Happy to you guys for giving me the opportunity to change my family's life. Not today, but 2017 when you guys gave me the opportunity. And since that day, I felt committed to you guys. And as Ulysses said, this is not about the contract, how long it is. I would love to be a Mariners for the rest of my career and play in front of the Mariners fans. For the rest of my career, play with a lot of these guys here, being managed by Scott, having Ty as my babysitter, be with Mitch, everybody. I genuinely mean that. I love being here. I love being with everybody. And I love to keep representing this city and bring a championship because that's how we want here. And I know that's what we're driving for. Win for the city and win for these fans.
Julio, you have never doubted your talent, but did this happen sooner than you might have expected?
It definitely happened quick, but I'm happy about it.
You know, it's funny. When it started, we were in the middle of our draft meetings. This is roughly, I think, July 2nd or so. And we had just connected with Ulysses and inquired about the possibilities here. And we had a couple of conversations during the first couple of days of July. And at that time, you know, I got a phone call from Ulysses, and we got Julio on the line. And that's when they let me know that he had been asked to participate in the home run derby. And we supported that, and we talked it through. And I hung up the phone, and I said to John, I think this just got a little more expensive. But, you know, it was that, too. It was such a great moment for this team and for our organization, for our city, you know, to see what Mariners baseball is about, to have so much attention paid to us, especially over the last calendar year, has been phenomenal. And with players like Julio and a lot of the guys that are sitting in this room, I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon.
Julio, congratulations. You talked about signing here back in 2017. I mean, that was 5 years ago, and you're going to be here for so much longer. Has it really hit you for, you know, how far you've come in these 5 years?
It's definitely a long way from Loma de Cabrera to here, and man, it's definitely been a long road. But I'm happy that I made it here. I'm happy for all the years to come. I'm happy for all of that, man. I'm happy for the opportunity. I'm just happy for the opportunity, happy to be here. And in these 5 years, definitely have accomplished a lot. And I feel like all that didn't come if I didn't have guys like Ulysses, all the people that has been supporting me, Jerry, talking to them all the time, in Canada, working out together. I feel like if I didn't have them, and in this few years that I've been playing in the minor leagues, right now here in the big leagues, I feel like if I didn't have them like working together and like supporting me, I feel like I wouldn't be here so fast.
What's it about this organization over these past 5 years to make you want to show this loyalty and stay here for so long?
They helped me to get to this level. I feel like I gotta give credit to them. I feel like they put a lot of things into my play that they were positive and that I understood, Ulysses understood, and like pretty much my family understood that it was good and the best for me, and they always show me their loyalty to me. They always show me their love. They always show me that they care about me, and I really appreciate that. I'm somebody that my dad taught me that at a young age. I actually appreciate, be grateful to the people that help you to get to where you are right now. And I feel like that's what the Mariners showed to me, and that's why I want to be here.
Could you imagine where you'd be without this specific group of teammates and coaching staff? Jerry mentioned that first month of the season, you called out Ty. It is a special group. They've helped you in special ways.
Yeah, it's just I feel like I wouldn't be the same. I wouldn't be the same. Like, I know a lot of people say, okay, you put the work in, but I gotta give credit to the people that helped me. I feel like with all the advices that they gave me, well, I want to mention Ty again. There is countless things that he had told me to basically stay on the way, and it's just amazing. I love having everybody around, and like thanks to them that I'm able to see here right now.
Julio, how did you come to learn about the significance of baseball in Seattle and what it means to the fans in Seattle and how important winning is?
I mean, I feel like that's the easy thing to feel. I feel like every time you step out there, the fans show you their love. Like the fans show you their love, and I feel like everybody that I've been playing here can tell you that it's a pretty special place. And I have heard from another sources that back in the day they have been the same thing, and man, I just love it. I just love the genuine love that they show for the team.
Jerry, this is for you and Ulysses. I have to ask about the contract a little bit, just because it is so unique and so many layers to it. When you're sort of operating without, I know all contracts are different, but there's no real blueprint or anything even probably remotely close to what you guys did here. Can you kind of talk about the back and forth on that? Did this all, how much was, with you taking it to them taking it to you? Did this come together relatively quickly? How did that process go?
Well, based on the timeline that I started with Larry just a moment ago, this took about 2 months to work our way through, and I don't think I'm selling it short with Ulysses. We spoke on this, met live, did Zoom calls. Ulysses met us on the road in Dallas just a couple of weeks back. He's been here to Seattle now on 2 occasions, and dozens and dozens of conversations to get to this point. And we started with something that looked very basic and came out with something that looked like hieroglyphics, but again, the uniqueness of trying to capture what Julio has a chance to achieve in his career and to be fair with him about what that could look like in the end was a challenge, and I think Ulysses was great working with us, and hopefully, we hope that this is a 17-year-long marriage, and then we decide what to do about year 18 and beyond, and we work very hard to make, pathways to be fair and equitable to Julio for what he has a chance to do in the game.
Julio, we just started Ulysses mentioned all the heroes that have come through Seattle sports. I often think, I have a 9-month-old son, I'm like, he's going to be wanting to come here wearing a number 44 jersey. Have you thought about what that could mean? You're going to be that hero to a generation of Seattle baseball fans for however many years this goes on for.
I mean, yeah, you definitely got to think about that. I feel like once you step on the field, you got to think that there's kids, old people, little kids, little girls, like everybody that is looking up to you whenever you step on the field. So I feel like every time you wear this jersey or any type of jersey that you're wearing, I feel like it's a responsibility of having the best impact that you want with your career. So yeah, I'm excited about that, and it feels pretty cool to just drive around the city and see 44 jerseys, and it really touched my heart because, as I said, I came from a place, Loma de Cabrera, 20,000 people, and there was more people on the stands yesterday that was in my hometown, so it feels very special to me.
What has this year been like for you? It feels like there's more to be done, of course, but it's got to be kind of a whirlwind. There's already been so much achieved this year and so much for you to now with this contract you going forward.
I know there's definitely a lot to let sink in, but we're definitely not done yet. We all know what we want.
There's been a list of Mariners outfielders that have gone on to do great things across baseball. You will forever be tied to Ichiro because of everything that's happening this weekend. What's the significance of that to you?
Man, it's amazing. It's amazing. I feel like everybody that knows Ichiro, I feel like all the players here, everybody on the staff can tell you that how special Ichiro is for us. I feel like he's just somebody, he's a legend. He's a legend. He could be one of the greatest. You can say so many good things about him in the way that he just carries himself, in the way that he does things, even right now. I always said it, in the way that he stays so disciplined. I feel like he's a great role model for everybody here in this room and outside of it too.
So there's a lot of performance incentives in this deal, and you've talked all along about never setting limits for yourself. And how important was that to kind of have included so you can kind of control your own destiny on where this goes?
Just basically they're betting on me, and like I'm investing in the city of Seattle. I'm definitely gonna put myself in the best position I can so I can keep performing for the team, for the city, and for everybody. I feel like that's just who I am, and I feel like that's why I'm happy I got that contract like that because it's definitely gonna keep me motivated, and I'm definitely gonna keep grinding every single year, and I'm gonna keep putting myself in the best position I can to keep performing on the field.
The talk started in early July, but was there a moment for you either back in Julio's time in the minors or the beginning of the year where you realized this is the guy that we want to invest in long term and keep him here for the rest of his career?
Frankly, we have a number of those players, and we've been fortunate enough to sign a few of them up over the last handful of years, and Julio was one of those players truly the moment he signed with us. It was pretty obvious to us when he was playing in the DSL, how special a talent he was on the field. But more importantly, and I can't really understate this, when you get to know the people, and Julio, briefly touched on his time through the minor leagues, but from the Dominican Academy, the people who brought Julio in, I'd be remiss if I didn't credit Tim Kisner for the role that he played in Julio being here today, and our entire group down in the Dominican Republic. The player development system, Andy McKay, and the group and I would say Jose Umbria maybe as much as anybody, being a guide for Julio, and every step of the way, every one of them telling us this is a special person. The player part we can see, but the special person you get to know over time, and once we got to know about that part of Julio and his work ethic, his commitment to not just to wanting to be great, because that's obvious with the way he works, It's his commitment to his teammates. I could tell stories, and I have, about my recollection of Julio's first spring training in the United States, when his enthusiasm for what the other guys were getting to experience, going over as just-in-case guys in Major League games. You just don't see that. And, that meant a lot. And to an organization, to have a player who is that invested in his teammates and the people around him and that proud to wear the jersey is pretty special.
You're the one who had to sign off ultimately on a 17-year possible commitment, possibly $400 million. What made you comfortable in doing that?
The person. We want to make commitments to a number of the players. Some in the room, we've already done that, and there are more to come, as Jerry talked about. But at the end of the day, to me, the Seattle Mariners are about character, and it's about the kind of people that we have in the organization. To be honest, last coaching I did was in Little League in high school. I can't see the talent, although, with Julio, it's pretty obvious. I can see and I have a sense of the character of the person, and there's some stories that I have about Julio that to me are very special. That he is the kind of person that, along with many of the guys that are in the back couple of rows here today, that I think that we can win a World Series with.
Julio, for you at 21, what is your process in looking at where you could be in 8 years, 10 years, 17 years? How
I mean, I'm just happy that it's going to be all here. I'm just happy that I can basically settle my system here, kind of like prepare myself here, and like I'm going to be seeing everybody all the time. So that's going to be pretty comfortable, I would say.
A little bit question more about Ichiro. So how's it been like, Ichiro is on your side and always to help, try to help you, and what kind of influence you have received from Ichiro daily basis?
It's a great influence. As I said earlier, like in the way that he just does everything, in the way that he's always so focused, even he's not playing right now, and in the way that he just he always running to the field, and the way that he always he's not throwing now, he's a little bit, but in the way that he just carries himself, with the way that he knows the game, all those things, I feel like he's a great support for everybody out here.
Any other questions for the head table? All right, thank you very much. All the participants will be available for a few more minutes if there's follow-up. But again, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Tim.